I love pencils because I love drawing. And I have a lot of different kinds of pencils from all around the world. I'm currently working on a video to let you know the difference between these professional level drawing pencils and regular pencils, something you might find at school. So that's coming along, and hopefully it'll be ready shortly and I'll get that out to you. But in today's video, I want to talk about big pencil sets, like this 22 piece from Hi-Uni or this 24 piece from Staedtler. Do you need 24 different grades of pencil? Well, if you have a collector mentality, like I do and like a lot of artists do, then you're probably going to want all of the extra pencils. You're going to have all of the possibilities in your hand, literally. But no, you don't need a full 24 range set. In today's video, I'm going to show you a drawing exercise that greatly decreases the number of pencils you need. I think to about 4, maybe 3. Having said that, if you're a collector, you're going to want them all anyway. Okay, let's get into it.
Here's the full set, from 10H, those are the hard ones, all the way down to 12B, the really soft ones. Is that too many pencils? Probably. Now this one right in the middle is HB. That's what Americans call the number 2 pencil. It's kind of in the middle between really hard pencils and really soft pencils, so it's good for lines and shading. I'm going to go as light as I can with that HB, and then press down a little harder, and I just keep increasing the pressure. Press down harder and harder, until I finally arrive at the darkest this pencil can possibly go, which, you should note, is not black. This is what we call the value range of a pencil. In particular, this is the value range of the HB. So do all pencils have the same value range? No, they don't. This is my book, The New Artist's Guide to Drawing, and for those of you that have it, turn to page 22. In the section on value, I show you that value can be thought of as a range from white to black and all of the grays in between. And when you're trying to draw something with 3 dimensions to it, something realistically, you do need a range of these values. On the next page I talk about this idea. Pencils have different value ranges. For example, this 6H can go from almost white up to about a value of 3.5. And as the pencil increases in softness, when you get into the Bs, you increase your ability to draw darker and darker grays. It's important to note that any pencil can get to almost white. The secret there is to press very, very gently indeed. And the softer the pencil is, like an 8B for example, it's very, very hard to keep it light. Let's take a look at this idea with some of the pencils. You see here that with an 8B, I can still get those very light grays. And I can get a full range of values just by changing the amount of pressure I put on my paper. Even with the softest pencil, a 12B, I can still get those very light grays. Then you might be asking, well, why don't you just use a 12B? Because you can get the very light and the darkest possible. Well, the answer is it's not easy to go very light with a 12B. That would be like going to a golf course and only taking your driver. In golf, clubs are optimized for particular ranges. So drivers are optimized for long hitting, and wedges are optimized for short hits. It's the same thing with pencils. The 10H in golf terms would be your loft wedge. It's optimized for those very, very light grays. I can't even get to a mid-gray with that 10H. Now I'm going to grab an HB, it's right in the middle. All pencils can draw the lightest gray, so there's no minimum for a pencil. However, there is a maximum. You're limited with how dark you can go. Here's the exercise I'd like you to practice. Go as light as you can with a pencil, and then do another layer, slightly darker, and another one, darker yet. Keep going and see how many different kinds of grays you can get. The more you practice, the more control you're going to have over how much pressure you use on the paper. In this way, I can make my HB act like a 6H, or act like a 3H, or act like a 2B. Now I don't need all of these pencils. Of course, it's cool to have the whole set, and I love sets of pencils. But what do you really need? I'd say grab an HB, that's right in the middle. It's good for lines and shading. You're going to need something darker, because the HB is only good to about a 6 out of 10 for darkness. So grab a 3B. You can press more lightly to make it act like a 2B, or more dark to make it act like a 4B. And then grab a 6B. Press light to make it act like a 5B, or more dark to make it act like a 7B. You're probably also going to want a harder pencil, just for some extra control in those really light values. So I guess it's just those 4. Or maybe you're going to want one really, really dark one, like a 9 or 10B. So yeah, maybe 4 or 5 pencils. That will cover most of the range that you need. I hope this really helped you understand which pencils are more necessary and what they do. If you're interested in my book, it's available at all major bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Indigo, and so on. I have links on my website, Mark Liam Smith. And thank you for supporting the channel with your likes, comments, shares, and saves. It really is appreciated. Until next time, happy drawing.